Hi there, Michael Bovee with Consumer Recovery Network, and I want to record a video today that talks to how to settle with Wells Fargo, your credit card debt specifically. Wells Fargo, as a national bank, national credit card issuer, is one of the larger ones in the country, and they're pretty set in their ways, much like Bank of America, Chase, Citibank, these large credit card issuers that have some pretty set policies for how they deal with their card members and their customers when they're unable to continue to pay them. So, as with any bank, if you're current with your credit card payments, you're really not going to get anywhere with your negotiations or trying to talk with a customer service rep at Wells Fargo about how they can accept less than what you owe them as a payoff in full. But as you are late, month, 2, 3, and more often when you're over 90 days late, the banks start to become a little bit more open to having a dialogue with you about settlement. And much like all of the other banks that I cover in our YouTube channel, Wells Fargo is similar in that your best settlement options are usually going to come when you're bucking up against that time frame where they're going to have to write off your debt as a loss. As you're paying them, they record your debt as an asset. As you quit paying them, they have to accept it as a loss. And they can't do that any later than 180 days of consecutive non-payment, or what is often referred to as 7-0 billing cycles. So that's typically 6 months. When you're in your, say, 5th month and 2 weeks of having missed your payments, you'll find that can often be around the 6.5 month. But you'll find they're most open to discussing a lump sum settlement with you in and around the 40%. At the time that I'm recording this video, we've got a couple of days left in 2015. Wells Fargo's policies and trends have stayed pretty consistent all year. I don't really expect them to be much different going into next year. However, having said that, in the last few months I've seen them be a little less forgiving, a little bit more strict in the types of settlements that they accept. They're definitely sticking to 40%. I'm seeing fewer and fewer 35% deals done with Wells Fargo. And even after they charge off your account, so it's gone, say, 6, 7, 8 months without payment, their recovery department is currently holding on to those accounts, so we're not seeing a lot of outside debt collection placement right after charge off like we had for many, many, many years. They're retaining them for a couple of extra months. So you're now working with, instead of the collections department at Wells Fargo, you're working with the recovery department at Wells. And they're a little bit easier to work with in some ways and less easy to work with in others. Also, some things that are unique to Wells Fargo is they silo some of their collections. If your account with Wells Fargo is over a certain dollar amount, you're probably going to be working with one department versus another. If your account is a business account, you open it up as a small business or a sole proprietor, a DBA, and it's opened up in a business name, even though you're kind of on the hook personally, gave your social security number, they're going to deal with you a very different way, and you're going to be working with the business collection or business recovery department at Wells, not the consumer side. So what type of account you have dictates who you're going to work with, and sometimes the percentages that you're going to be able to get and the size of the balance of your account is sometimes going to dictate whether or not you're going to have a document intense type of negotiation. Wells Fargo is one of those banks where if you owe a certain amount, over a certain amount, they're going to want to get detailed financials from you. They have a financial worksheet that they're going to want you to fill out. It's several pages long. It talks about some of the highline income and budget, monthly expense type of items like rent, mortgage, car payment, insurance, gas, groceries, those kind of things. They're going to want those details. And if your information does not support them taking a significant haircut, that this is all the money that you're offering, this is all you're going to be able to do, and your information that you gave them suggests that you have different assets, your income is really strong, and it's just other reasons that have led to you not being able to pay them, they may be willing to just hold out, maybe not settle with you at a rate of savings that is consistent with somebody that they'll offer a true hardship settlement amount with. So be careful when you owe Wells Fargo over a certain dollar amount that you're prepared to share with them income and expense information, potentially tax returns, especially if you're a small business, you have to be prepared for that, P&Ls, or even a bank statement or two. Okay, so be aware of that. They're one of the few creditors that is going to ask for that on the consumer side of debt. But the higher you go in balances that you're negotiating, be prepared for that. Wells Fargo, I've always considered a very consistent in their policies and procedures. And like I said, it's this year that I've seen some changes, and I do expect to see some additional changes. I might come in and do some updates to this video. I also find, just for those of you with Wells Fargo credit card business accounts, that their collectors on the business side, at least at the recovery department, not the internal collection side that you'll deal with for the first 6 months of not paying your business Wells account, but the recovery department that deals with you after that first 6 months, to be quite aggressive and even stretching the truth a little bit in some instances. So be very careful of what you hear, and let's talk about any concerns that you might have in the comments below. I'm here to help answer any questions that you might have right here on the channel, on the website, or you can call a hotline and have a free one-on-one consult about settling with Wells Fargo. Look forward to seeing you on the next video.